Hi guys, this is Sushant here again,
Hey guys, this is Sundar here.
and we are the Digital Empaths. So guys, we are really excited to have a new guest in our video episode today, and her name is Heather Aeder, who is a Vice President of Data Products and Integrations with Pepperjam in the United States. So Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather Aeder. I work for Pepperjam. We're an affiliate marketing company based in Pennsylvania in the US.
I don't know Heather, so she's been an industry veteran, spent more than 2 decades in the digital industry, and played various roles. I think I perceive herself as a geek. I think someone who has started her career as a statistician, comes with a very strong background in mathematics and economics. And I think, Heather, recently you posted something, I think, on LinkedIn where one of your friends called you a data scientist and not an analyst. And I had the same feeling that I think I always thought you're an analyst, and where this whole new term of data scientist come into picture.
Yeah, it's really great. I feel like data scientist feels like a younger millennial sort of term to me. You know, I've always felt like an analyst or an economist, or, you know, it's the data scientist seems, you know, I guess I expect to be in a laboratory if I'm a scientist, you know?
Yeah, so true. So I think if I look at the last 10 years, Heather, and I think things have changed a lot. I think the whole digital ecosystem has evolved significantly, and you spent over 6 years in GSA Commerce, and I think now it became eBay Enterprise, and now it's Radial. But I think you spent quite a significant time in that company, and after that you moved to Pepperjam. So just help me understand that how the journey was the last 10 years, and what some of the key lessons you learned.
Well, I think for me, the journey, you know, when you and I first started working together, we were in product and building digital analytics tools inside of e-commerce platforms. So for me, that was my first introduction to product, but I had been, you know, in the analysis and statistics space for a long time before that, with a pretty foundational, coming out of college with degrees in statistics and economics. So I felt product for me was really new. But over the last 10 years, I've kind of gone out of product and I went back into analytics consulting. So as part of GSI, we opened up an agency, and within that agency, I grew a consulting team from nothing to an $8 million business of, analytics consulting of all the types you can think of. Started with doing Omniture and Adobe Analytics implementations, grew to doing analysis work, where that was actually the biggest part of our business. Whether it was business intelligence, putting together reporting, or helping consumers or helping advertisers understand how to get, more money out of their website without a lot more work, just moving things around on the website or reorganizing it or changing their product page layouts or whatever it was. And then that consulting business grew beyond just web analytics into marketing analytics, email analytics, customer lifetime value type analysis. And the bigger we got, the more we pulled statistics into that work. And I went with that. I made the decision to go with that side of the business due to the opportunity that's in that channel and untapped. And, affiliate was really not innovated at all for 10, 15 years. And but I've been really excited to be at Pepperjam the last three plus years. And we've, 4 years now. And we've, been rooted in data the whole time, which is why I went. Is, our executive, he speaks data, which is great for somebody like me to be partnered with a leader that believes in your role and what you do there. And so I've kind of come back full circle, and I'm in product again. So I build data products here and make sure that our software supports data-driven decision-making, that we support data product integrations with external tools, because we all know, anybody that's been on the marketing reporting side knows that you don't use the reporting in the tool. You use your own source of truth, whether it's a tool like Domo or Tableau or even Adobe Analytics or Omniture. And so I build integrations with those tools to make sure that we can give advertisers Pepperjam data where they need it.
So Heather, let's go a little bit around the Pepper Jam journey in the last 3-4 years. I know, unfortunately, we all are going through this whole COVID-19 pandemic across the world, and I think everyone is living in an isolation zone. So, are you seeing this whole affiliate business is being impacted? Are you seeing the signs of that? Are you seeing the retailers, the brands are cutting down their spend?
You know, it's a great question, and we had serious concerns, and luckily we had infrastructure here to be able to do aggregate reporting across our business. So we use we've got a really great data warehouse built on AWS, and then we have a business intelligence tool called QLIK, built on top of that. And so we've been building on the fly user apps and publishing them really quickly to get those out to our business. And what we've seen in the month of March, so for us, the biggest, people started staying home mostly in fiscal week 11, which is like that second week of March. And so that was the week that we were hit really bad, I would say, in terms of spend and revenue, seeing decreases year over year on both of those metrics. But week 12, we started to pick back up, and week 13, we were actually higher than we were last year. So
wow, that's interesting.
The last 2 weeks we've seen year over year growth, and like in week 13, we had over 20% growth in spend year over year across the board. Now, not every advertiser vertical is the same. So travel obviously down 100%, basically.
Yeah.
But clothing and apparel has been in the 20s, 15, around 15, 20% growth. Food and drink, obviously, because now people are ordering more of that at home and having it delivered via e-commerce, has seen like 300% growth in spend and revenue year over year the last 2 weeks. So it's not a gloom and doom picture at all in affiliate. And I think it's because consumers are buying online, right? I think we'll see if the trend continues. And I think that we'll need to, I have some concerns about inventory, right? So with China as a large producer for many advertisers here in the US, if they continue to have challenges delivering supplies, then I think, that might cause advertisers not to be able to sell online anymore. So we're keeping a really close eye, but it's not a gloom and doom picture for us right now. And in fact, we're up the last 2 weeks. So we'll keep watching it. The other really interesting trend we're seeing is mobile. So mobile, the last 2 weeks has also grown as a share. So share of mobile revenue, we've seen to be up like 35% last week alone. So we're keeping a really close eye on that too. And we might need to change some of our strategies, right? Like which publishers we're working with from a technology perspective. We already have some integrations with like in-app purchase kind of features, and we might need to build up even more of those integrations for depending on which ones advertisers have.
So are you seeing some interesting causal factors behind that, which are making these trend shifts happening?
Yeah, so we've been looking at which publishers are advertisers choosing to partner with, and is that changing, and what their commission rate structures are. Commission rates are up a bit, but not that much. So it's really more about increased consumer demand driving more purchases, which then drives more higher commissions, right? Because spend here is based on commissions that paid for performance. We're also seeing advertisers shift dollars away from other channels into affiliate because of that pay for performance model versus not wanting to, advertisers have always been shy of display and not necessarily, at least e-commerce, right? Like they've always been not trustful of display. And so they're moving dollars from channels that, it's very clear that we're paying because somebody purchased, not because they saw an impression, maybe. So we're seeing those would be the two biggest shift is dollars away from display and into affiliate. And then publisher mix, not many trend differences on commission rates. And then publisher mix, we're seeing content slowly start to increase. I want to keep an eye on it because content in general compared to, so I would say our three biggest categories of publishers would be content, which includes like blogs, sub-affiliates, and like websites and content. And then category 2 would be loyalty of publisher categories out there. And for a while now, the industry's been shifting away from loyalty and coupon to content. Content's more top of funnel, you acquire new customers there, and then they're really good sticky customers that last a long time and have high lifetime value. But you have to pay a lot higher commission rates there than you do in the commission and loyalty sites. So I think right now, like we've always seen this shift of spend from coupon and loyalty to content. But it's even more pronounced in the month of March than it has been, in the previous months. So hard to say if that's a direct correlation to the COVID-19 situation or just people wanting more new customers and shifting their dollars there to get them. So we're going to be keeping a really close eye on that and starting to dig into like which publishers, which individual publishers are the winners and losers. Because I also think I'm not sure that trend's going to hold because I kind of think we might shift dollars back to coupon sites as customers worry more about dollars in their pocket, So we'll see. It's so early right now. We're 3 weeks in.
Okay. And if you look at the last 10 years, I think I remember during those days, I think affiliate channels have never been a new channel. I think it's been there for more than 2 decades now. I remember during the old US days, we have Commission Junction and Linkshare, and Pepperjam has always been an older player in that space. So are you seeing that they are also evolving internally from technology point of view and also keeping abreast of how the consumer sentiments are changing over a period of time, their likes, their affinities are also changing?
These big conglomerates who don't give them a lot of investment dollars for technology innovation. I think Pepperjam, now that we're free of eBay and we've been on our own for the last 4 years, we've been able to put a lot into technology innovation. I would say I think our other competitors now are more like Awin in the primary European UK based, and then Impact Radius, which is also US based. Those companies are also independently owned. Awin also bought ShareASale, and they behave more like us in terms of putting money into technology innovation, and that's who we they try to compete with us, I would say. And I think Linkshare and CJ, they're slowly whittling away and getting lost in their big conglomerates. In terms of the innovation that has been kind of, in terms of how affiliate has evolved over the last 10 years, we're seeing more and more integrations with other tool sets, whether it's reporting is just one arm, but starting to integrate with retargeting vendors, integrations with mobile in-app platforms, developing shopping cart integrations to make deploying the pixel and ingesting returns easier. At Pepperjam, we've started to integrate with attribution tools, and I have hope that in the future, I'll start to be able to ingest that data and do dynamic commissioning based on attributed value, things like that. Other innovations we've seen in the space, developing tools that help mitigate people's fear with affiliate. So the biggest fears with investing in affiliate is coupon snipping, right? Where an affiliate, a consumer goes to an affiliate site, takes a coupon, puts it in, and would have made the purchase anyway without that coupon. So we developed tools and technologies that help try and prevent that and help incent publishers to with higher commission if they get top of funnel consumers. We've also, some of the biggest innovations have been around publisher recruitment and finding ways to allow advertisers to recruit publishers that aren't already joined to our network, but are out there in the wild, and be able to invite them to join the network at the same time that they invite them into our program, and giving them more information about those publishers. So developing integrations with Facebook and Twitter to get information about likes and followers and for blogs and things like that, and these content websites, providing more information.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you see the role of AI or ML in this whole technology innovation landscape?
I'm glad you asked. So we've been building out a data lake here for the last 3 or 4 years, really since we came out of eBay. And we are now using machine learning to provide publisher recommendations to advertisers based on a variety of factors and information that we gather in the data lake. We're continuing to refine that over time, but using things like clustering and pretty old school statistical techniques to make those recommendations on publishers. And it's really been helping advertisers find and then quickly recruit publishers that have relevant followers and relevant to their brands.
Interesting. So it sounds like you're saying that there is an empathy that you're showing towards the advertisers and the publishers. How about, what do you see the role of empathy maybe towards the rest of the ecosystem, the retailers, the end consumers?
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting because there are so many, in affiliate, there's so many consumers that you have to think about. You've got to think about the advertiser, the publisher, the agency, and the consumer.
Yeah. Right.
So I'll start maybe with consumers. And I think for consumers right now, they're with this COVID outbreak, unemployment in the US just hit 6.6 million last week. It's the biggest unemployment we've literally ever had. It's going to get worse. So consumers are going to have fewer dollars to spend. They're going to be really price sensitive. And that means that from advertisers, they're going to want more information before they make their purchase, especially for larger ticket items. So they're going to be out there reading blogs, reading content sites, trying to make sure that they're buying the right product because they're scared to spend those dollars. Secondarily, they're going to be searching for the best deals on coupon and loyalty sites. And so those publishers need to really make sure their navigation is tight, that their search is tight, and that as consumers go in there and just start to search for products, that they can find the best product at the best deal for them. So I think consumers, we just have to, it's going to be about trust and transparency, and the publisher or the advertisers that can bring that to the consumer, they're going to succeed in this post-COVID world. So secondly, let's talk about agencies. Agencies are getting pulled in a million directions right now. I mean, having worked at, our agency arm for 8 years, I feel for agencies right now.
Yeah, I think I always feel pity on them.
They're getting, just think about a multi-channel agency with one advertiser client. They're managing 6 channels for them. The advertiser's freaking out. They have less money to spend, and they want to make sure that their agency is spending it on the highest returning, channel, or the highest returning keyword, the highest returning publisher, that they're pulling every little bit of revenue out of the tiniest amount of spend that they can get. So what agencies need right now, and the way that we as technology vendors can help them, they need data. They need data on where to go. They need tools that make it super easy for them to go in and optimize that channel for their advertisers. And they need, on the reporting front, they need to not think about it. They need integrations with their BI tool. They need us to send it to them in the formatted way. They need us to call out insights for them. They need help. They desperately need help. I would not want to be at an agency right now. And then, for publishers, they're worried about income, especially smaller publishers. And so we need to help match them with advertisers to make sure that they're getting the content, that advertisers are right there with the right content. So playing matchmaker is what we can do for publishers. So, we've been hosting, since all this started, we've been hosting once a week digital partner days where advertisers can come and for 5 hours listen to different partners or publishers speak about what they can bring, what their audience is like, and things like that. And they've been surprisingly well attended. So our first publisher day, 5 hours long, that's a big time investment. Wow. We had over 100 attendees. So publishers were thrilled to get that much face time with advertisers. And in some ways, the video medium actually brings more people, more advertisers to those partner days than they would otherwise. So it was really successful. And then for advertisers, we just have to be super aware of the pressures that they're under with downward spend, inventory challenges, and And I think with them, ways we can help them are helping set up measurement tests that are probably gonna have to be much shorter periods than I would normally want in order to be able to rack quickly. And then also using dynamic commissioning, where we're commissioning based on behaviors. So commissioning based on how many new customers you bring to site, commissioning based on certain products you need to push and get out. So that's the other problem right now is everybody has all this spring inventory and they need to get rid of it at this point. So commissioning to get rid of that spring, like higher commissions on spring inventory, I think will help. And, you know, just be really sensitive to those pressures that they're under.
Great. I think that's really insightful. So Heather, in the last episode that we did on the impact of COVID-19 on the whole digital supply chain, and we are seeing some really serious results across the world where most of the manufacturers, especially on the affiliate business, where whenever the supply chains are getting hit, whenever the manufacturing is getting hit, the entire ecosystem also gets impacted significantly from the digital spend point of view.
I think, yes, we have, but we've never seen it like this before. So this is uncharted territory. You know, it might be, you know, having some problems with this, you know, textile, and that impacts, you know, the spring line in a small sort of way, but never before have we seen not getting shipments at all, you know? So this is uncharted territory. I was talking to my husband the other day and we were talking, because we're both nerds, right? So we were talking about how all these natural experiments are getting set up right now where, you know, in a normal world, an advertiser would never say, shut down my supply line for 2 weeks and let's see what happens in terms of, you know, impact to e-commerce. That's happening now. And
yeah,
I'm thinking about all these professors and economists that are going to start building studies out of the data that we're all able to gather during this time frame. I mean, not just retail, but, you know, the environmental impact of not driving cars for 2 months. And, you know, so I think there's going to be a lot of very serious data analysis that once we all start to recover, which I know we will, like we'll be able to study the impact of all these things on the environment, on the retail business, on foot traffic in malls and how much that matters. You know, I think that's one of my predictions is that e-com is going to stay large and grow larger as a proportion of a total brand or total retailer's business because consumers are just they're going to go out less. They're going to, once they realize they can shop from home, like think about the older population. You know, my mom who never shops online, she's always going to the store. She bought my daughter a birthday present online the other day. And I had to help her through it, but she did, you know? So I think we'll see older populations going out less, shopping more online, and it's gonna change e-commerce forever.
Wonderful. So what are your two big bets?
I would say the first one is testing. Testing is going to become really important. Marketers aren't going to want to spend any money unless they trust that any large amounts of money, unless they trust that a channel or a tactic or a campaign is going to work. So testing's been out there and like the more sophisticated brands have been doing it, but these like up and coming D2C brands, you know, that only operate online, they're just all about like spending what they can to get what they can. But now they're going to spend those dollars a lot more wisely. So I think testing is going to be huge from a measurement perspective. And the good news for people in our field is we're going to be needed heavily in this new world. I know there's some job concerns right now in this crazy world we're in, but I think in the long term, analysts are still going to be in a really great place to be able to help brands and retailers make the right investment decisions on spend. I think the second prediction I have just for 2020 is that we will see spend increase for the next 3 months. And then once those inventory challenges start to hit, it's going to go down for a while until the economy picks back up. We've been looking at a lot of macroeconomic data on what happened, you know, to see if we could use like the Spanish flu or the 2008 economic downturn to help us predict what recovery might look like. And for both of those, the economic data that we have is showing kind of a V shape, right? Like severe decline, but then a pop back up. I think we have a shot of a V-shaped recovery, but I think it's a little bit more severe at this point than the 2008 downturn and the Spanish flu kind of challenges back in 1918, 100 years ago. So I think we'll still be in a recession probably for at least another year. This is my guess before we start to recover.
Yeah, let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
And so Heather, just to conclude this statement, so I think a lot of our listeners, I think they're also some new fresh graduates or some of the guys who are entering into the space of digital analytics or who want to start either on the product side or more on the services side. What kind of a career path people can have in the affiliate ecosystem? Do you think there are some specialized roles that the affiliate system offers that the rest of the industry doesn't offer?
I think here at Pepperjam, we call them account strategists, would be the other type of role that's really impactful. So an account strategist might be, like a client services rep at another company. That role here makes or breaks our business. I mean, the account strategists, those are the folks that are on the front line with customers from a service standpoint, but they're also setting strategy. And to me, that is a really interesting role and one that takes a lot of brain power and a lot of pulling, being able to work with the data analysts to make recommendations that are rooted in fact. But also knowing publishers well enough to know which publishers can I go tap into to drive the strategies that I'm setting, right? So, and then being able to just to talk to a customer and convince them of all those things is really hard too. So I think I often recommend that maybe people start in a customer-facing role to build that experience and build that confidence to help them in leadership roles down the road. And you can always come back to data; it'll always be there. But I think getting practical, real-world experience and tactics and strategy in a particular channel is really helpful to developing data analysis skills over time.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, Heather, for taking your time. I know it's Saturday, and in this isolation environment, I think where there's a lot of fear and a lot of skepticism, I think you come with a smile and you share your experiences with us. And we would like to also thanks to all our listeners, and would like to request everyone to please stay safe, stay connected, and listen all the requests your local health bodies are making about being in the quarantine zone, and respect it. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.